Welcome to Hunt Outdoors with Kody Hunt. You know, he's a record book holder of white-tailed deer, an outdoors enthusiast, and just loves to hunt. And of course, my wife Kelly Hunt. You know, she's been around it for a lot of years, and let's see what's happening in Kelly's kitchen. And myself, I'm Ed Hunt. I'm a whitetail record book holder and love the outdoors. You know, I've been at this game for over 40 years. Let's just see what's happening when your back is against the wall.
I bet you can't guess what I'm doing right now. I bet you can't guess what Kody's doing right now, and the rest of the Hunt Outdoors crew. We're setting up for a spectacular hunting show. We're going to see what happens this archery season. You know, bow hunting can be a lot of fun, but it can be a lot of work and a lot of pain and a lot of joy. So stick around, follow us, and let's just see what we can't do when your back's against the wall.
Yeah, things happen, and I got busted on the way to the stand by this doe.
We didn't go out this morning, probably a good choice. And it's really too hot now. In the direct sunlight, it's burning hot. Even though the ambient temperature in the shade's 69, and you're in the sun, it just eats you up. I'm just burning up right now. I'm leaking. This is not good deer weather. Big bucks don't like moving in this because right now they're busy putting on fat reserves for the rut because they're going to lose about a third of their body weight if it's a heavy rut, and a quarter of your body weight if you're a buck if it's a normal year. So, you know, it's a beautiful spot where I'm at. I've got bedding in front of me and food plot way up across the bedding. I've got bedding behind me. I've got hardwoods, oak flats right here beside me. Wide open shooting, clear to 75 yards if I want it. 82 over here. That's really too far. I got no confidence at that range, none at all. A lot can happen in the flight of an arrow at 82 yards. The furthest I've ever shot a deer was 59 yards on the money. That's the furthest. It was wide open, and he was quartered away, and he was going uphill, and he couldn't get away. He couldn't duck it. So the worst that could have happened is him spin. That's squirrels over here knocking nuts off, and I've had nuts falling on my Dodge Ram in my new camper all weekend, and I've got a couple nut dents in my hood from it, and that's going to get costly. So this area up here where we're at has almost no cell signal. You get intermittent TV channels if you have a TV. This is really pretty far out there. I mean, it really is. We can just barely reach each other with just analog cell service, barely, and then we get cut off. So I'm not expecting a miracle tonight, and I'm just about to the point where, with the temperature the way it is, and the flies are terrible, I don't need a meat deer that bad tonight. I think there'll be another chance when it's cooled off here in the next couple of weeks, but for right now, and I will be shocked if I see a buck tonight. I mean, really blown out of the water because they're not comfortable, and I'm not comfortable. So, it is what it is. Kody's over here, about a quarter mile, overlooking the same field I overlooked, but a different location. Hear that blue jay squalling. Probably ought to start paying attention, because there's either something big coming like a deer or a predator, or they're fighting over acorns.
first hunt of the year. And we got our spot about picked out pretty well. And hopefully they start moving here soon. It's about 5:15, 5:20. So we'll be sitting here for a little bit. And that way, when they come, we're already here and they have no idea. Hopefully we can trap them. We got a pretty nice setup. We're looking over this big old field. I got mowed paths all the way through it. I still gotta laze most of it to see how far I'm shooting, but this is what we're hunting. There's all kinds of deer sign and deer trails all through this. So, here we go, first hunt of the year.
What I wasn't thinking about while I was sitting here sweating in the sunlight directly all over me is that Kody was sitting across the field with the wind in his favor and in the shade. I'll bet there was a 15-degree difference where he was at and where I was at. And of course, here I am, sitting exactly the stand I wanted to be in, but nothing but air and opportunity. Meanwhile, in just a little bit, Kody gets to lay the smack down on his buck on his first hunt of the year. So let's go enjoy what happened to Kody there in the last 30 minutes of the day.
Okay, it's 6:35. Been on stand for about an hour and 10 minutes. There's a watering hole behind me about 100 yards away. Little natural spring. I just heard a bunch of splashing in it. And I know it's too small for geese to come in, and I didn't hear any geese or ducks. So I'm thinking a bunch of deer got in the water. They decided it was pool time. Not cool because I want to be in the pool. Hopefully they get hungry and come over here in my field. Right out yonder. Right out there. Cornfield. So, hopefully they come my way. And I could get a shot at a nice buck. Because that pond is covered in scrapes and rubs. So, somebody wants it for themselves. Hopefully they come my way. Well, guys, I made a new friend. Mr. Red Squirrel. Oh, where'd he go?
Well, as soon as Kody
He's been around for a while.
got settled in and everything cooled off and the sun dropped down behind the trees off the horizon, man, he was in game. Squirrels and deer, they just started piling out of the woodwork after getting a great big drink of water in one of the ponds that were behind him. Let's watch what happens.
A couple really big does in their ponds. We're gonna let them go. I'm shaking.
What'd you do, Kody?
You'll see from my film, earlier in the evening I had 4 does pop up here.
Okay.
Their way down this trail, right here, straight to the corn.
Okay.
They milled about, and then all of a sudden they just bust out.
Okay. Well, where'd you hit this buck at?
Right here. And here he comes. He stopped. Right here.
Okay.
This area.
Okay, did he stay on this trail?
Yeah, and then I couldn't get a shot because he was all bent. He presented me with a shot, and I shot him.
Okay, where'd he go? In the weeds or in the trail? All right, we're going to cut out and we're going to find this deer.
It's not bleeding very well. I get kind of worried. But I heard him cry. There's the belly.
Get up there. Way to go, Kody. Woo. Yeah, look at that. Oh, wow. You busted him up. Give me that flashlight.
Oh, yeah.
Good job, son. Good job, Code. Lay that down. Let's do it quick and get out of here because we're late for chili. And that was awesome. Look at that buck.
It's what it's all about. It's all the pain and suffering over the summers. And then doing all the dirty work.
That's awesome.
What you get.
That's awesome.
Big old deer.
Let's
get this thing gutted, tagged up. Get on.
We waited about 20 or 30 minutes. Nice job. How many points, Code?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think that one's gonna count. 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know about this one.
So he's a 10, but they might not count.
Nice deer.
What do you think? Look at me. Are you happy?
Oh yeah.
This is what? How many hunts you been on this year?
1.
All right.
It's my first hunt.
Well, folks, it doesn't get any better than that. Kody out on his first hunt, evening hunt, and laid it down and got good trail camera pictures of him. Let's see what happens next.
I'm here on a mid-October lull stand hunt off of a food plot with heavy bedding cover between myself and the food. It's overcast. It's about it's right around 58 degrees. It's been mist and rain for 2 days. We're gonna find out how it goes here. So I've got the green-eyed doe, my lucky green killing shirt from last year, my Hunt Outdoors cap, and my trusty crossbow. My closest shot here would have to be straight below me. I've got some 40-yarders and some 30-yarders, and there's quite a bit of brush. Stick around. It's early in the hunt. We might see some. Well, it's getting close to time. I've got no movement yet, but that tree line is obscuring my view of the corn, and that's intentional tonight because the wind is coming from that direction. I can't get over there, and I have a very clean in and out, so they may spend the whole evening over there in all that green stuff, and I may be stuck staring at squirrels. For real. I mean, with everything that's been going on, this feels great. I got on the stand and I just had a TV reporter text me and want to do an interview about the new rifle laws here. And I actually had to do an interview from the stand tonight about it, and I'm positive that they're going to get it figured out. And the legislator already said it's a mistake. So I hope you guys hold on, because we could get there. And by the time you see this, all this will have been a bad memory for you guys with the pistol rifle cartridges on public land. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, squirrel races. Squirrel races. Hear them? Chirp, chirp, chirp. Gonna break out the green-eyed doe. I want to see if I can draw some does. There's some deer over here. I know they're in there. I can hear them. Every once in a while, I just see a flash. It's not even good enough to put the camera on. It's good enough. It's awful quiet, and it's awful warm all of a sudden. The weather's already changing. The wind stopped completely. I'll bet it's in the low 60s right now. This front's moving out. In the morning will be the last of the really cool temperatures. And I can't wait to get back out here in the morning if we don't get something here in the next day.
Shortly thereafter, after I made the calls, the clouds started clearing out and the sun popped out on the horizon, and this little buck pops out of the brush in front of me down the lane. With the wind swirling, he couldn't find the doe, and his body language told the story. He was kind of ticked. And that's just how it goes sometimes when you're calling deer.
For 15 minutes, I'm getting on out of here. Night one, it wasn't a bust, but I didn't kill anything, and they didn't get within 150 yards of me. We'll see what happens next time. I got stands over on the other side. That's a heck of a lot closer to where they're playing.
And now it's time for a taste of the wild side. Let's see what's cooking in Kelly's kitchen.
Hi, welcome to Kelly's Kitchen. Today we're going to be making a venison meatloaf, one of our family's favorite meals. I've got 2 pounds of ground venison in here from the buck that Eddie took this year. I'm going to be adding some salt and pepper. I like the ground that I can grind it as we're talking. Maybe about 1/4 teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon, whatever your family likes. A little bit of salt, 1/2 to 1 teaspoon. We're kind of watching our salt, so we're not going to use that much. I've got a couple of fresh eggs from the chickens out back. I'm going to stick those in there. I have some ketchup. Our family likes the ketchup version of meatloaf. Just a baby 1/2 cup of ketchup, about 1/4 cup of milk, and then some binder. I use breadcrumbs from a can. You can make your own breadcrumbs. You can take saltine crackers and crumble those up and stick them in. Or you could take oatmeal, instant oatmeal. That's also good. You just need something to kind of hold it together. I start out with maybe 1/2 cup. It's the only way to make meatloaf. Mix it all together. I am just tonight making a basic venison meatloaf. I've already got my oven preheated at 350. And since this is venison, I've sprayed the pan with a little bit of olive oil spray, just because venison doesn't have a lot of fat in it and I don't want it to stick to my pan. So I'm going to just plop this in here, give it a little bit of a shake. I make a little dent in it, in the middle. Helps it cook a little evenly. And then I'm going to stick this in the oven for about 45 minutes. Then I'll check it, make a little sauce to go on top, which is ketchup and brown sugar. Just gives it that little tanginess that we like, and it gives it a little crust, and it's just really, really good. Now we're going to work on our side dish. We're going to have some mashed potatoes. As much as possible, I like to use fresh vegetables, fresh meat. I'm just slicing these and putting them in the hot water. We'll let them boil. I don't want them too soft, but I don't want them hard either, because then they get lumpy. So we're just going to do that. I'll get these in here, and then we'll work on our next dish. Well, according to the timer, we've just got a couple more minutes on the meatloaf, so we want to go ahead and make our glaze. We're going to take some brown sugar. About a cup, but I don't measure it out. I don't push it down like you're supposed to with brown sugar. I just kind of put it in here and see. Then we'll take some ketchup. Mix it all together. Try not to keep any lumps in it. I want to make sure that it's kind of smooth. This is basically kind of like a barbecue sauce that we're making, a barbecue glaze. Oh, it is ready. The ketchup won't dissolve the brown sugar, but it just kind of gives it that little sweet taste that we want. Get it out, kind of cut into it. Make sure that it's doing what we want it to do. And it is. Oh, doesn't that look good? Nice and moist. It does need a few more minutes, but when we put this glaze on, that'll be good. Make a few holes in it so the glaze will seep down into it. Now, if you're making a meatloaf with just hamburger meat, beef, ground beef, you've got a lot of liquid in it, you might want to pour that off now that we're going to put the glaze on it. But with venison, you don't have to worry about all that extra fat in it. So we'll just pour this on. I use a small wooden spoon to mix it together, and that way I can just use this to spread this around. Try to keep it all on top because it's going to melt and just kind of seep into everything. Get down the sides. And then I'm going to stick this back in the oven for a few more minutes. And then we'll work on finishing up those potatoes. Those look good. Got them all mixed up. I'm going to add some salt and pepper to taste. Eddie likes a lot more pepper than I do, so I'm going to kind of split the difference with him. And some salt. So I'm going to take just a little bit more butter, stick it here on the top, use my fingers, and let that kind of melt right on top before I serve dinner. Okay, everything is done now. The meatloaf, the sauce that we put on, the glaze, is nice and caramelized and all on top. Put it here on my plate, and I am ready for dinner. Now we're ready to eat our meal. We've got our meatloaf, mashed potatoes, a vegetable, a beverage. You can serve any kind of beverage, red wine, white wine. We've got sugar-free Kool-Aid. So we're going to have this meal. It'll be about 5 or 6 meals. We could have 3 or 4 people over for dinner and enjoy the meal. Well, I'll see you next time in Kelly's Kitchen.
Okay, it's a week later after Kody killed his buck, and now I'm in Kody's tree. We've had a spell of hot weather for a few days, and then it broke off and rained, and there was a front came through, and it got real cold, and now we got some wind. Now, you might get some wind problems on this camera because it's really not set up for a lot of wind, but this is the camera I had to use tonight. So what I did is you didn't get to see it because Clint's over yonder, and he's already taken the Rackaholic stuff here. This is the bedding scent, and I put it out here right in front of us, right out here. just sprayed it liberally out here on the branches. And so this is the bedding, whitetail bedding area. Okay, there you go, whitetail bedding area from Rackaholic. And then here's what I've done. I got the white oak, which is a cover scent, and I'm gonna turn it on and spray the tree just like that. And now the wind's gonna blow this and help cover me as well. I don't want it really on me. I want it on the tree. So we'll see how it goes. It's a little windy. It is cold, and I think we're in really, really good shape here. I really like Kody stand. It's in a good spot, and I'll show you why. You can see way down as far as you can shoot. And then over here, this is a different view from what I showed you on opening weekend. And right over here is where Kody's buck ran to that evening, and it went right through that opening right over there. And he was laying on the other side in that tore up corn. And that's what that is. That's torn up corn. So I'm gonna get the green-eyed doe out, and I'm gonna give it about 15 or 20 minutes here, and then I'm gonna really knock down some. I'm gonna knock down some green-eyed doe talk. No buck grunts, and we're gonna see what it'll get us. So stick around. Hunt outdoors. That's what we do. Let's try the green-eyed doe. Give it a shot. See what happens. It's still kind of early to be getting real aggressive with the calls, but the green-eyed doe allows you to call, and really what it does for you is it kind of calms the deer in the area if they can hear it. They may not be able to hear much tonight. It is awfully windy, but maybe we'll have deer here in a little bit. So, stick around. This self-filming stuff really sucks pretty bad. This is what happens when your cameraman already killed his buck and your other one is sitting across the field from you. Clint. Is right there at about 450 yards. So, I hope he's seeing deer. I do. This feels awful good to be out of work. There's nothing like tree stand therapy. I'm out of work. I'm doing something I love, and I got the possibility of killing a whitetail buck, and that's why I'm out here, to kill a whitetail buck.
It wasn't very long, you know. and the wind started to die down. It really did. And this is the shady side of the tree line that I'm in with the woods behind me. And we had some does just pop out there just beside me. I thought I'd saw a buck back in there, and all of a sudden these does come out and they just start feeding around and things. And I think it was, a good indicator that as soon as the weather lays, like in the evening and the wind just miraculously shuts down, that it can cause things to happen. And I'm pretty sure that these deer weren't very far from me earlier because of the way that this is laid out. It's very thick behind me. And, we're not after the does. So these deer were safe. And it just goes to show you what passing up deer can do for you. We were just buck hunting.
They're up and moving, and it's an hour before
See
dark.
what happens?
So, yeah, he was following a doe. That's how I saw him. I saw the doe cross the trail, and then I saw him. It's starting to warm up. The rut's starting to come. It's only a few days out. Just be patient. At the end of October, be patient.
What goes into a lot of successful deer hunting, especially buck hunting, is the summer and spring scouting and the winter scouting, finding your deer. And we did tons and tons of summer scouting on foot with trail cameras. Found the food sources, found the beds, found the travel corridors. It was a lot of work. And we didn't just look for the bucks. To be successful at hunting bucks, you got to find the does. And the important thing is find the does and get next to them, because that's where the bucks are going to be. And there's a lot of work to it. And I'm not going to lie to you. This year was a tough year. The numbers were real low, really. They were. And we went a long, long ways to find good deer this year. We didn't hunt at all down home. And that's just indicative of how bad the hunting really is. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm getting ready to go take you to my kill. And my camera malfunctioned when I hit it. And it didn't turn on until right after the shot. And you're going to see that. But you get to see my buck and get to enjoy.
One on one of my favorite stands right now. The deer have really been moving well. A lot of big bucks have been dropped in the last 4 or 5 days. I knew this was going to happen. The weather has dropped off and gotten cold. The deer are moving, especially the bucks. It's only about 40 degrees right now. And by the time it's dark, it's going to be cold. I can tell you that right now. So, right now, the plan is to sit here and try to bust these 25-mile-an-hour winds and try to stay in the tree. I got my safety strap on, and I'm in some pretty good cover, so they may or may not move tonight. This is deer hunting. It's not deer shooting. It's not deer shopping. It's deer hunting. And David's down the line from me, and he's sitting in the stand Kody killed his buck out of. And once again, for him, it's the same thing. Sitting on good cover with heavy wind, so they'll either move or they won't. We'll see what we get. It's windy terrible. I'm gonna break out my green-eyed doe and I'm gonna rack on this thing. I mean, rack on it, because I've got to get loud so they can hear me. Who knows? They may or may not hear me. It's all I can do. It's not a good night to be calling deer. Never is when it's windy.
Wow, that was fast. That was really fast. I can't believe that. He's down right there.
What you're going to notice is I go back and forth between the Tacticam and the regular cam, and at this point I realized neither one got the kill.
I didn't get that on camera.
I was so busy trying to move and turn on both cameras, I had turned off the main and didn't bother to hit the button on the Tacticam.
Man, this is really sucky, but I don't think I got that on film at all. He come running, smoking to me. I'm trying to get my stuff off here. Hang on.
If you've never been there before or filmed hunts, it gets very confusing. Now at this point, I'm questioning everything. Did he go down? Did I get the shot? Did I hit where I thought? Let's find out.
This is crazy, but I don't know whether or not I got any of this on camera. I just shot a buck running at me, and I got to get down here to him. It's about a 40-yard shot exactly. He stopped right in my opening. The striker really got after it, and right here is the real recovery. I busted him real good right here. Right here. There's my bolt. There's my bolt. He went right over here and piled up. Look at all this blood. I raged him. He went down right here. And he's right here. Oh, he's a dandy. Oh, he's been fighting. He's got a busted tine. Look at here. He get this stuff down. I'm going to drag him out first. This is the recovery right here. Yeah, I'll get him out. There he is. And he's a dang good buck. Dang good. He's been fighting, busted himself up. I've got this buck on trail camera, and that Rage 125 two blade busted him open. That's the exit. No, that's the entrance. The exit's on the other side. He is a gnarly, busted up buck. That's a big buck. That's a good buck right there, guys. I don't know that I got that on camera. He was running. There's my buddy Dave. I killed this thing running at me. I hope I got the camera on him. I hit the button. He's been fighting and gouging and goring. Thank you. Here, film this for me a second. It's already going. Just step around that side over there. This buck, there's that busted open range. But this buck here, and this just happened. They're fighting like mad. I got him on trail camera. This one was intact and about this tall. These two were knobs. And I'm gonna look this deer up on trail camera. He's just an average deer. Where Dave and I are hunting right now, there's about 15 or 20 that's every bit as good and bigger. And the old striker, Bowtech, Rage, and Red Hot Arrow, and my buddy Dave and his Bowtech decided to come out here and brave these 30 to 40 mile an hour wind gusts with 25 sustained, and he ran right down this path I'm on right to me. He couldn't hold it. Look at that. I want to thank you for joining us. I don't know that I got it on film, and if I didn't, I'm sorry, because it was so fast and exciting. I hit the button on the Tacticam. I know I didn't get it on that camera, and we can only pray that I got it here. I'm only about 150 yards from where Kody's buck fell, and we're going to see if we can't get David, one of these big bad boys, out here too. I'll talk to y'all later. We got to get out of the field. It's a work day. It's a Monday, and it's time to get out of here.
You know, if the weather didn't have my back against the wall, other hunters seem to be on top of me and have me pushed up there. And then, you know, work and scheduling, all kinds of things. But you know, Kody and I, we had a great hunt. And this thing is a family affair. And it gets in your blood. So, get out there. It doesn't matter if your back's against the wall. You can come out stroking. Thanks for joining us here at Hunt Outdoors. I hope you enjoyed it.